Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today, and we are starting with more information about Ghost of Yotei, a game that I think most of us are very much anticipating. So we're starting here with WCCF Tech saying that Ghost of Yotei has a similar sized map to Tsushima, but it has been designed to feel larger. Earlier this week, Sucker Punch confirmed that Ghost of Yotei should last roughly as long as Ghost of Tsushima. Now, in another pre-release interview, the Seattle-based development studio has discussed the map size. Speaking with Automaton Media, Sucker Punch revealed to have adopted the same vision. They didn't want to have to produce filler content for a much larger map. However, they did make sure to make the map feel grander, which is appropriate since the setting is much larger in real life than the previous game. Jason Connell, the co-director of Ghost of Yotei, explained, even though the map is roughly the same size, Hokkaido is obviously much larger than Tsushima in real life, so we concentrated our efforts on making the world appear larger than it actually is. You'll see vast plains and massive mountain ranges towering in the background. This is all scenery that wasn't as present in Tsushima, and it's designed to help players feel the scale of things. If we did that, doubled the map size that is, we'd have to fill that map with twice the amount of content, and that content would need to be so meaningful so as not to tire the player. Ghost of Tsushima was already a big enough game, so rather than upscaling just for the sake of it, we chose to focus on delivering more variety and higher quality while maintaining a similar scale. The development team also improved exploration gameplay in various ways. He says Ghost of Yotei includes various systems and details aimed at making exploration feel free and rewarding. For example, running through flowers increases your movement speed, and if you follow these flowers and the trails they leave, you might discover hidden secrets. We've also added new items like telescopes and binoculars to allow players to enjoy the scenery. All these details work together to ensure that players will not get bored even on a large map. Now, I thought this was actually important to go over because I was very curious about this. They didn't really talk about the size of the map in the state of play, and they didn't show the entire map, but we are getting confirmation that it's basically a similar size to Tsushima. I was wondering this because in real life, Hokkaido is, I think, like 83 times bigger than Tsushima Island, and I was just kind of thinking to myself like, I wonder what that means for the size of the map in Ghost of Yotei. And I think they're taking the smarter approach here, because it is true that if they decided to just double the map size for the sake of it, they would have to fill it in. And if they feel as though, it's going to end up getting too repetitive, they just have to fill it with the same type of content, and it's going to become, just something that people get tired of, like they say here. Yeah, I think this is the smarter approach, but I wanted to share that with you guys. I think Ghost of Tsushima, the map size was, I would say, almost perfect. But moving on from that, they're also talking about how they don't want you to be doing the same things over and over again in Ghost of Yotei. This is being reported by Push Square. They say if there's one major issue with Ghost of Tsushima, it's that it's lacked the variety to keep its open world interesting. While we did initially have fun following foxes and writing haikus, the game unquestionably ran out of steam as we pursued its platinum, and honestly ended up grading at times. Creative director Nate Fox is well aware of this, and he says the team at Sucker Punch has responded to the feedback from fans. This is what he told Automaton. Ghost of Yotei improves the mini-game segments in a sense that we won't be making players go through the same thing all over again whenever their curiosity leads them to encountering new secrets during exploration. We've prepared different kinds of outcomes that could go beyond the player's expectations. We believe that the beauty of the open world game is in the exploration, so we were determined to offer players a diverse experience. I thought this was worth mentioning as well, because it does seem like this is feedback they took to heart. When you're roaming the open world and encountering these different things, you're not just going to be doing the same exact thing over and over again, just straight up rinse and repeat. So it'll be interesting to see that once we get the game in our hands. The final info we have here for Ghost of Yotei comes from a separate interview that was conducted by IGN with the developers of Yotei, And IGN asks, Ghost of Tsushima Legends was objectively awesome. How happy were you with that mode as a team, and is there a possibility to see something like that again for Ghost of Yotei, either at launch or maybe in the far distant future? Nate Fox responds by saying, we are extremely happy with Ghost of Tsushima Legends and allowing players to connect with friends and use their skills fighting with the katana against a variety of enemies. We loved it. Right now, we are very focused on completing Ghost of Yotei to the highest quality possible and putting it in players' hands very soon on October 2nd. That is our absolute focus right now. So I know that seems like a non-answer, but the reason why I'm highlighting it is because of two reasons. Number one, they don't deny it. They don't say that they're not going to be doing a Legends follow-up, and they do also answer the question by saying that they were very happy with the way Tsushima Legends turned out. So, you know, it seems like they are going to be doing something. I would imagine they will, because let's face it, Legends was incredible, and Sucker Punch just revealed how skilled they are at making a multiplayer experience. I think it's safe to say they're going to be doing something worth it, but they obviously can't say anything about it now because the focus is Yotei, their big single-player launch that's coming up. Although, you know, it could turn out that they're not, but that would be honestly quite shocking. I mean, let's remember, Ghost of Tsushima Legends is even getting an anime adaptation. So, yeah, I think we're going to get more. But the final two questions that we get answers to here, I think, give us more information on what we can expect with the combat, because I think some people, even after that state of play, were still left with a few questions. So they say here, what has it been like developing combat based around a whole arsenal of weapons this time, as opposed to just a katana and the variety of different stances? Nate Fox says, in Tsushima, we really loved our stance system where the player could choose one of 4 ways to hold the weapon to combat a particular type of enemy. In Ghost of Yotei, we took that system and we expanded it. Instead of 4 stances, there are now 5. Instead of stances with 1 weapon, we took that same system and we said, okay, instead of stances, it's new melee weapons. Functionality is the same as stances, but it's more. For instance, if you use a spear, you can use that weapon to knock enemies backwards in space. So if you're standing near a cliff fighting them, you can knock them off the cliff into the abyss. Works just like stances, but there are extra abilities attached to each of these weapons to give the player more options. And they say, IGN that is, so should the player be expecting to juggle weapons and learn which is going to work against which type of enemy, perhaps what weapon they're using, or is it more of a case of unlocking the right skills for the right weapons? Nate Fox says the game definitely would like players best to learn how to switch weapons when it is appropriate. It is the most efficient way to play. Let's face it, people sometimes want to play in a way that makes them feel the coolest, and the game will not hurt you if you do that. If you want to play with just 2 swords in each hand because it looks cool, you can play through the whole game that way. It's a-okay. So I thought this was worth mentioning because it does directly answer the question, are there stances? No, the weapons, the variety of weapons is the replacement for the stances, but there's even more abilities now attached to it. So it is almost like an expansion of what the stances would have been. But they also do confirm that you can play through this game with any weapon you want. You're not, you don't have to switch weapons, but it does make it seem like, you might have a bit more of a challenge against certain enemies. So there you go. But we are going to move on to the next topic, which is about Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls and how it's going to be playable at EVO. Being reported by Gaming Bolt, Arc System Works' Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls isn't out until next year, but EVO 2025 attendees can go hands-on with a demo from August 1st to the 3rd. 6 characters will be playable: Captain America, Star-Lord, Ms. Marvel, Iron Man, Storm, and Doctor Doom, to experience the unorthodox 4-character team system. That's not all. Sony, Marvel Games, and Arc System Works will host a developer combat panel on August 1st at 8 p.m. PT, which will stream live on YouTube. Fans can look forward to new details on the core gameplay mechanics. Thus far, we've seen all the traditional tag fighter mechanics, including assists and combo breakers. So, yeah, wanted to take a moment to let you guys know about this. We have more info on what will, I think, undoubtedly be Sony's next big live service game, or at least the one that will be successful, that being Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear what the fighting community has to say after being able to go hands-on with this game. We know that there's an incredible amount of hype for it, so we'll have to see if it ends up living up to it. Moving on to the next topic, we have a very interesting leak, or rumor, I should say, about Silent Hill 1 Remake. This is being reported by WCCF Tech. The original Silent Hill remake announced last month may release sooner than most anticipated, as it has reportedly been in the works for a few years already. Speaking on X, known leaker Dusk Golem revealed that the remake of the classic survival horror game in development by Blooper Team has been in the works for 3 years already, before the remake of the second entry in the series developed by the studio even launched. Considering the current pipeline of games geared towards yearly releases of Silent Hill games, the leaker speculates the remake could release in 2027, following Silent Hill F, which launches this September, and the mysterious Townfall in 2026. So this is something that I thought was absolutely worth mentioning because, well, first off, Dusk Golem is actually a pretty reliable source when it comes to horror game leaks. They were correct about multiple things regarding Silent Hill Remake and Silent Hill 2 Remake, and multiple things regarding Resident Evil 9. So I actually do believe what they're saying here, and this is actually crazy to me because I would have assumed that when Silent Hill 1 Remake was announced, like, it's not even in full production yet. But here we're finding out from Dusk Golem that no, it's actually been in full production and full development for 3 years now. Very, very interesting. It'll be great to see this game revealed because I'm so curious what they're going to do with a full-blown Silent Hill 1 remake. We're talking about a PS1 title. There's going to have to be a lot more done to it. Can't wait. Moving on to the next topic, we know that yesterday we got the official Battlefield 6 reveal, but something that people were paying attention to with this reveal is that it's not going to be releasing on the PS4. And I know it sounds like it should be a given. You know, here we are in July of 2025. No game should be releasing on PS4. Cross-gen should be over. We know that's not the case. Being reported here by PlayStation Lifestyle, an increasing amount of developers and publishers are dropping support for PS4, and it seems that PS5 players couldn't be happier. As blockbuster games like Call of Duty continue to support last-gen platforms, it looks like Battlefield 6 will finally be ditching the PS4. Yesterday, EA lifted the curtains on Battlefield 6, although we've only been treated to a cinematic trailer for now. The multiplayer reveal is coming on July 31st. Reports suggest that the game will not be on PS4 and Xbox One. EA has yet to confirm the reports, and Battlefield 6 PS Store page doesn't list any platforms, but if true, we certainly wouldn't be surprised. Madden NFL 26, one of the biggest games of the year, isn't coming to last-gen consoles for the first time. While this may come as disappointing news to PS4 players, PS5 players have expressed relief. And this is something that I've been seeing. Now, we do need to be careful because it's not explicitly confirmed yet that it's not releasing on last gen. But, I mean, let's face it, if EA is making the decision that Madden 26 is not going to release on PS4, I think it's safe to assume that Battlefield 6 is not going to release on PS4. Meanwhile, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 7 still releasing on PS4. So, yeah, I don't know how much of a difference maker this is going to be for people deciding which FPS they want to go with this year. But moving on to the next topic, we are hearing about Dying Light the Beast getting delayed. Being reported by Gaming Bolt, Techland has announced a 4-week delay to Dying Light the Beast, which will now launch on September 19th. Discussing the recent positive previews, the developer said it's shifting the release date to allow for extra polishing work and to make this the best Dying Light game we've ever released. Alongside additional last little details, the team is working to fine-tune the gameplay, balance, improve the physics quality, tweak cutscenes and player animations, and look into the clarity of the UI. So, yeah, for anybody who is looking forward to Dying Light the Beast, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. I actually think this is maybe good news because, you know, August is looking really crowded, man. And, you know, this is a game at some point that I really do want to play. It looks very good, and I've been hearing nothing but good things about Dying Light the Beast. So there you go. September 19th is the new date. The final topic here is something a little bit unexpected, but I think it's worth mentioning because the last time we saw this game on PlayStation was on the PS3. Being reported by Push Square, EA and PopCap Games are bringing back the original Plants vs. Zombies game for a PS5 remaster, releasing in the next couple of months. This is what a new leak and report strongly suggest. Overnight, files for a Plants vs. Zombies project were discovered on the Chinese version of an EA website. A key art was discovered amongst them, and this lined up with the age rating leak from earlier this year. Now, this morning, the reliable DIA Labs leaker Billy Bilcoon has released a full report on the suggested remaster. According to them, the project is named Plants vs. Zombies Replanted and releases for PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC on October 23rd, 2025, and will be 20 euros. So it'll probably be 20 US dollars. This is, I think, worth mentioning because, dude, Plants vs. Zombies is a classic. I love this game. And at least on PlayStation, on the PlayStation side of things, the last time you could really play this, I think, was on the PS3 and I think maybe the PS Vita. So it getting a proper remaster and re-release on PS5, amazing. Can't wait. We'll be there day one. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.